Imagine this, 4 teenage brothers, all late for school, fighting to use the only bathroom inside the house. Sounds pretty chaotic, huh? I'm here today to tell you guys about my freaky family. To tell you guys about my German heritage, my family's love of traveling, and the lessons I learned growing up inside of my household. A lesson I can share with you guys right away is, it's really easy to get away with things as a child when your grandparents are yelling at you in fluent German and you have no idea what they're trying to tell you. Since we're on the topic of being German, I'll start off with my dad's side of the family. His parents' name was Charles and Ella. My grandfather Charles was born in Germany in a farming community called Overhoff. In 1923, they decided to move to the United States with his parents, brother, and sister. When they got to the US at Ellis Islands, they were given a new last name of Overhoff and relocated to Chicago. My grandfather's brother, Frederick, decided to join the Al Capone gang and marry Al Capone's sister, Jamie. He was never heard of ever again. My grandfather believes that he's dead, buried in a cement casket at the bottom of Lake Michigan. My grandfather joined the U.S. Army in 1941 during World War II and served in South Pacific because he was originally born in Germany. After the war was over, he went back to Chicago, met and married my grandmother, Ella. Now, let's talk about my mother's side of the family. I'll start off with my grandfather, John David Ellis. We like to call him Dave. Dave was born in a Canadian town called Lethbridge and moved to the United States in Seattle in 1943. When he was born premature, and his parents placed him inside of a shoebox next to a wooden stove so he'd stay warm. When he turned 18, he moved to Alaska for the gold rush and to be a true cowboy. He got sick and had to move back to Seattle, where at the same time he met and married my grandmother, Edna May. After a few years, they ended up getting a divorce, but remained good friends. The entire family would continue to gather for family traditions and family events, and that's something my family still continues to this day. My family and I love to travel and see the world. And one trip I was fortunate enough to go on was to go to India with my next door neighbors. My next door neighbors lived in Punjab, India, and they had offered to take my mother and I along with them. We were ecstatic to go. Now, I could fill books with all the experiences I had in India, but one experience really truly sums up my entire experience there. And that is the time we journeyed to the Golden Temple in Amritsar. The journey started off in Punjab, India, with a 7-hour drive to Amritsar, which should have only taken 2 hours, but because of a traffic jam, it tripled the time. Now, when we got to Amritsar, I was already irritated because of the car ride, but to make things worse, our friends hired photographers to take photos of us the entire time we were there. I really hated this because I simply just wanted a trip where we didn't have to take thousands of photos every step of the way. My mother noticed I was really irritated and I wasn't enjoying myself, and tried to calm me down. And surprisingly, we have a photo of that exact moment. In this photo, you can tell that my mom is trying to tell me through the grin of her teeth to try and calm down, and you can tell with my body language, I was just not having anything to do with the photos being taken. Everything that I am today was shaped from my family's culture and my upbringing. I have strong moral values because of the way my parents brought me up. I have a strong work ethic because my parents instilled that to me at a very young age, and I continue to hold on to that today. I have learned from my German heritage of all the suffering and the great times my grandparents enjoyed in their life. In their life, they had encountered many trials and tribulations, but have overcome every one of them. They were able to lead productive lives and raise great families. A second lesson I learned, but just as important, is that you need to take time out of your life for family vacations. Some of the best memories I ever had in my life were during these vacations. And that's something that I really want to continue with my family today. Last, but probably the most important to me, is that I carry on my family's culture. This is how I live my life, and I plan on passing this to my children in the same way my parents passed on to me, my brothers, and my sisters. Now, my challenge for you today is that you need to learn and know your guys' deep family history. Look back at all the lessons that your parents and grandparents have taught you and see how many of those lessons you are using in your adult life today. Clearly, we all have enough wisdom, knowledge, and traditions to be able to pass on to our children and grandchildren. And with that, I thank you.